Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here continuing to work on the Full Deck Challenge 3 hosted by Shnooky Art here on YouTube. And we are to alter a playing card with a prompt. And this week's prompt was Happy Scraps. And so I did go and watch her video, and because initially I was just going to pull out whatever paper scraps in my stash made me happy and kind of go with something there. But I watched her video, and she kind of did a video where she took scraps of paper, and then she used like sprays and distress inks and whatever else just to jazz them up a little bit and make them happy. And so I decided to go ahead and do that. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I went ahead and did it, and I did it off camera just because it was a little bit of a process. So I took the box, I basically put any scraps that were sitting on my desk, so there was a lot of like vintage papers and music papers is mainly what ended up in there. But so I put those in there, and then I went with kind of a color theme with different sprays. I just took out greens and blues and purples from my stash, and I just spritzed them, and then I'd spritz them. Sometimes I'd add a little water to it, and then I would dry it with my heat tool, and then I would do the process over again, and I kept on going until I was somewhat happy with the results. Again, a little bit out of my comfort zone. And so I'm going to use that to make a background. And this was last week's card that I did, and it was song lyrics was the theme. And each week we are to carry over an item. So I'm going to do song lyrics again. So I'm going to carry that item over. And then also each week, we're to have a constant, and my constant is this rubber stamp. I use it on every card somehow. And so I've already kind of prepped a couple of things. Again, you guys saw the scraps. And what I did here is I stamped the umbrella on a piece of paper. This was like a paper that I did a long time ago in a class, and I think we used the Perfect Pearls Miss, or maybe one of these Glimmer Miss on them. And it was a class backgrounds or something, and it must have been 15 years ago, but I still had some scraps. And so I picked this one out just looking at the scraps that I did in here. So I picked this one out and I stamped on it, and I used this rubber stamp set from Close to My Heart. It was the springtime one. That's number, again, it's a really old one, so I don't think it's probably still available. But it had the cute little umbrellas. And then there's some raindrops, and that's kind of what I'm going to use. But I chose to use this one. And you can see I stamped that. And then it's very subtle, and I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but I stamped my constant stamp in a very light gold over that. So that is on there. And then I also stamped this one for my song lyric. I happen to have You Make Me Happy When Skies Are Gray. So that is a song lyric. And so I stamped that. And I don't know what stamp company this is. If anybody knows, I would love to know. It was one that I picked up at a craft rummage sale. And I just liked a lot of the sentiments on it. And so this is my first time actually using it. So I picked that rubber stamp out. I did stamp it and kind of cut it apart a little bit. And I put it on white cardstock because I wanted to make it a little bit thicker. My plan, I think, is I'm going to put those happy scraps down in the background. And then I'm going to hopefully put down the umbrella somewhere on here. And then also the word You Make Me Happy When Skies Are Gray. And I might stamp the word When Skies Are Gray, or I might use what I had stamped here. I'm not quite sure yet. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is to glue down some of the scraps. But I think I have to pick out which ones I like. And again, they're just kind of very random. And I probably should have did this before I started filming, but I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like. You should see my desk. It is a very much, it's it's a hot mess. I have all the sprays sitting out and all sorts of paper scraps that I was ripping up to do this technique with. And so thought I saw one in here earlier that I liked when I was looking at what my results look like, but of course now I can't find it. This one was kind of interesting, I thought. So, of course, you know, there's color on both sides of them. So I'll just pull a few out and then just glue some of these down. I think I want to go this way. And then we're also to leave the card, number, and suit open in one spot. So I think I'll leave the top one open. So if I put that one down, that one looks kind of nice there. You know, maybe it's even looking like a foreground, knowing that I'm going to put the umbrella on here. What else do I have? I like this one. It's very shiny. So maybe I'll put that one up towards the top somewhere. You know, this one has a little bit of green on it. Put that one down there. I just kind of want to have a rough idea. I like the way this one turned out too. I think the ones that I use the Perfect Pearl Mist on, those are the ones I think I like the best. It just has this nice little shine to it. And I should probably pick out something. So I haven't used any music paper. I wonder if there's any that I like. Not really. I don't really like it, the way any of these turned out. So, well, maybe I could use that one. All right, let's just start gluing it down. Like I said, very out of my comfort zone to do this, I guess. Just with the playing with you know, I guess I've played with this stuff before with you know, in my card making when I used to do a lot of classes, but I'm more about layering and liking things layered than doing the mix, you know, a lot of the mixed media stuff. I don't mind layering, you know, some stamps and stuff like that, but so I'm going to use a heat tool and dry this off, and then I'm going to cut off around the edges and hole punch the hole out of the top, and then I will be back to decorate with the rest of it with you. So everything did dry, and I did end up putting one more scrap on the bottom and also the top, just because I felt like it needed a little something more down here. So I did add another one when I was drawing everything. And then I also went ahead and cut out the umbrella. In hindsight, I wish I would have maybe chose a brighter color, but that's okay. And I'm thinking I'm going to put it up here in the corner and have it hang off a little bit, and I'll pop it up. And then I had the You Make Me Happy, and I'm going to pop that up. And then I'm just going to glue the When Skies Are Gray directly to the bottom. And then I need to put the little handle for the umbrella. But I think I'm going to try and stamp that directly and hope that works, instead of having this one. And then I also pulled out, with that stamp set, there was the raindrops, and I'm going to have to stamp it in black. I tried my white Brilliance pad, but it didn't show up. I tried it on a scrap of the stuff that I cut out, and on this one, and you can't even see it. So then I tried it in black and it works. So I'll have to stamp that one in black. So that's kind of my plan here. And I want to put this right there. So I just kind of want to visualize where I'm going to put the handle and see if we can stamp directly. If it doesn't work, then I'll just glue this one on top of wherever I stamped. So I'm holding my breath here, just hoping that it works. I'm just going to take off any of the ink that's on the outside just to make sure I don't stamp something that I don't want to stamp. Okay, that looks like it's going to work. I'm just going to heat set it for a second. And then I think I'm also going to go over it with a black marker just to make it hopefully stand out just a little bit more. So let's pop up the umbrella next. And let's stamp a couple raindrops off to the side. I probably should have did that before I did the top of the umbrella, but I'm just going to glue that second half of that song quote down. Then I'll be able to pop up this one, and then we'll take a look at it and see if there's anything else I want to do. And I think I do want to add a few of my flat back. I have some little gold ones. And I'm just going to add those, I think, to the umbrella. I think I'm just going to do it randomly. So that's what it looks like so far. And still thinking that I need something, and I'm wondering, I don't know if this pen will work on, I wish I still had a white gel pen, but I don't think I do. Let me see if this Sharpie marker works. I just maybe want to highlight the well, I would have liked to have highlighted the white, a little bit of white on the raindrops, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't know if it'll let me pick up from this. Maybe it'll let me pick up a little bit of the... It's not quite as pronounced as I would have liked it, but it's a little better than it was. And then I think, I still think I want something a little more. So I'm going to see this gold leaf pen. I'm going to just highlight the edges. Just not very much, just very subtle. Okay, I think I like that a little bit better. It turned out better than what I thought. It's probably not my most favorite card, but it works for this week's prompt again, which was happy scraps. And you guys will have to let me know what you think. And let me look at what I wrote down for next week. Next week is letter of the alphabet, I believe. I'm behind, so I know the next few, and I just kind of wrote them out. But I've still just been doing one a week. So here is the final result. And I think it turned out better than what I thought it was going to. In hindsight, I think I would have changed out the color of the umbrella. And maybe use some stickles or something on the raindrops, which I still might go back in and do that. I'll have to see what colors I have. I'm not quite happy with those. But otherwise, the rest of it I really like, and I like the way the little happy scraps turned out. And you guys will have to let me know. And hopefully I will see you guys back again next week for another episode. Until then, have a wonderful day and happy crafting.